Okay, so the first thing you do is you open up this data set that I sent you, this Excel file. It's called Avison Young AC9 combination RKV2.XLSM. And then open up the data set that you want to apply the macro to. Go over here and grab the macro and drag it up here to this data set. And you're going to copy it to the data set. And you can see it down here is the tab. Now in order to use the macro, I'm going to just get rid of this. Let's see. No. We'll first process, so we've got RTU 1, 2, 3, and then we've got this HDD online, offline days. So we'll look at RTU 1. So we want to do the analysis of RTU 1. So you're going to enter in the RTU data sheet. It's RTU 1. Oops, 1. And then the start row number is going to be row 2 right here. And the timestamp column is always A. And the therm column letter is column D. And the HVAC health column letter, which is the BTU per hour, is column E. So you want to make sure that's all filled out. And then the other data sheet that we're using for this is the HDD online offline days. So you want to enter the title in here, exactly as it appears in the tab. Again, the start row number, the timestamp column letter, the HDD column letter, the OAT column letter, the is online column letter, and the %RH column letter. So if you go and look here, I have those entered in this way. Now I'm going to do the analysis by copying this spreadsheet right here. So what I would suggest doing is deleting anything to the right of column E, because I'm going to be filling in all these columns over here with the macro. So I'm going to hit create the daily data analysis, and this is the spreadsheet now. It's got the focus, and what it's done is added in these additional columns. Let me just highlight them so you can see them. And I'll make them bold so they match the others. Okay, so the first two columns here are the therms per day online and the therms per day divided by heating degree day online. And again, these are summed up on a daily basis, so every line is a day. Now I've zeroed out when the unit is offline, the online calculation goes to 0, and similarly when and you see the offline values being calculated, and similarly when the unit goes offline, it's computing the online values. So I do this just so I can add the columns up, which I do over here in columns J and K. This is the total therms online and the total therms normalized to HDD online. So what I've done is sum this column up to put it here, and this column up to put it here. And similarly for offline, the same calculation. These two columns go here and here. And this is the % savings. So what happens when you do all this is you can have different number of hours for online and offline. So in this next line here, I have normalized so that you have the same number of hours online and offline. And I get that by just ratioing the number of days it's online to the number of days it's offline, and then scaling the online value so that it scales up to be the same number of days as the offline. And then I recalculate the savings, which I've done here. So that makes a huge difference, not surprising. So that was RTU1. So what you're going to do then is this macro rewrite creates a new daily data every time you hit it. So you want to make sure you rename this. Since we looked at RTU1, I'm just going to call it RTU1 summary. And then I'm going to go back to the analysis, and I'm going to change this to RTU2, that's second RTU, and I'll run the analysis here. Now this one had a little better, 19% savings. So that's our RTU2 summary. And we'll go back and do this for RTU3. And I'll run it again. This thing had a 17% savings. So that's our RTU3 summary. And then we'll do the RTU7, the last one here, right there, and hit create daily data. Okay, that looked terrible, RTU7 summary. So that had used 44% more energy. Don't know why, something's probably wrong with this. You have to look at the data for it. So that's all there is to it. You guys start using this on the other data files, you should be able to get through all this processing pretty quick.